Hi friends, and welcome to episode 11 of my Nullius series. I'm Icon, and today we will hopefully create lots and lots of graphite. And at the same time, I hope I will be able to create also lots and lots of wind turbines. So there are things I need to do in between, but most importantly, we will together design a nice little facility for graphite. Sorry, that thing just drew my attention. I was wondering why the motors weren't produced, but that's a regular thing for me when I play Factorio. So the buffer here is killing the production. And that's why things aren't working out as they used to. But what's killing the system here is that we don't produce as much energy as we consume. Well, that's mostly because there's right now almost no wind whatsoever. Well, while I'm producing those wind turbines, let me grab up a few units of plastic, and then we will dive right into the Helmod and check out how I could do better in terms of creating graphite. Because I really realized that graphite is just some sort of material which is necessary in stupidly large amounts, and at the same time we don't produce it in those stupidly large amounts yet. Alright, so let's check it out. Oh, graphite has there's a lot of things having new icons here. Nice. So rubber received a new icon. Looks like the Nullius dev is finally creating his own graphics. I've read that on the Discord, and I'm very, very excited to see the first steps of progress. Cool stuff. Now, graphite, we produced that. Well, how about just adding a new rider for graphite and see what kind of options I got. So there's only one way of creating graphite. That's hydrogen and carbon monoxide plugged together. Okay, that's a good start, and that means we don't have too many different approaches for that. I'm just deleting the old one because I've fetched so many new technologies that I definitely don't want to go for old stuff, and we want to go for new stuff. Alright, so ideally I would like to produce 5 graphite per second. I know that's quite unrealistic, especially considering the production, the energy ratios I got so far, but you know, I want to create the graphite, and then we're going to think about how to enable us to get more power, because right now power is of course one of the big bottlenecks as well. Now we need to create carbon monoxide. We can create carbon monoxide by splitting carbon dioxide with hydrogen. Well, not too surprised about that. Or using graphite to create carbon monoxide. So there's really no other way than this one. We're going to need filthy amounts of hydrogen for that plan. So let's see. We can create carbon dioxide by using air separation. By using carbon monoxide, not really a thing. We can combust methane and oxygen, ethylene and oxygen, propene and oxygen, and benzene and oxygen. These methods all not really work for me. But look at that! Dust dissolution. Mineral dust plus hydrochloric acid. That sounds like something I definitely want to do, because well, we don't have hydrochloric acid yet, but I know that mineral dust is a regular waste product here, and we should be able to do something with that. I like the idea. I definitely like the idea, so we will follow that. The thing here is, let's see how my power grid is now standing. So we do produce a nice amount of power, and there's still capacity left on those solar panels. That's good news. It's really, really good news. I mean, the thing with the wind power, I realized, is quite simple. You just have to accept that it's a energy source which doesn't deliver you permanently energy, period. But that's seriously the only real issue behind that. Alright, but at the same time, I don't think I will be realistically able to create that in these amounts. Well, let's see, carbon dioxide via this, and hydrogen. How are we supposed to produce these insane amounts of hydrogen? So, electrolyzing is always a little bit of a method which makes me unhappy, because it'll need tons of energy here. So, but I really noticed that I don't see any better option than this. So, dang, it's that complicated, because when we use water electrolysis, we will create lots of hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, let's think about that later. So, hydrochloric acid is being produced by combining hydrogen chloride and water. Okay, at least that's something which isn't freaking me out completely. So, hydrogen chloride in these amounts. Let's see. That would be the byproduct of 31 factories producing plastic. Not realistic. Not realistic at all. So at least the leftover hydrogen chloride will never be an issue. So we could produce this by combining chlorine and hydrogen here. But honestly, that doesn't sound too... I mean, where would I get the chlorine from? Saline electrolysis, brine electrolysis. So, ARF. Well, okay. I gotta say, this mod is more complicated than C-Block. At least with maximizing things, I got a lot more trouble than I had with C-Block. So maybe I shouldn't aim at maximizing things, because we don't realistically ever seem to get there with the given amounts of energy. Alright. So, how will we do that? I think the best choice of action would be to go for surge electrolyzers, because I don't think it would be a wise choice to go for electrolyzers which draw energy at all times. I really don't think that this would be a smart choice. So, let's see. I want to get rid of all that bauxite. What can we research, actually? Solar thermal power. Huh, that's new. What do we have here? Solar collectors. Okay, thanks. They work not as easy as I would think, but let's have a look on those. Oh, nice. The dev actually already helped me before I knew that I need help. All right, let's put in some gear wheels and, well, oh, yeah, I understand the issue now. Ah, of course. So we need to do that a little bit differently now. That's why no motors were being produced, because I rewired that the other day. Okay. Let's give that thing all the iron wires it might need, and then... how about this? I don't want to procrastinate the production of these any longer. Okay. Well, do we actually need those electrolyzers then? I don't think so. Because this seems to open up a completely new method of energy production that hasn't existed yet. Alright. Do I really want to do this to all my motors though? Yes, it's no problem. I don't think it will be any problem. What would be a problem, though, is would be not enough red science here. Okay, now I think that completely tosses my plans all over. So the solar collector needs aluminum sheets, glass, and heat pipes. Heat pipes need tier 2 pipes, aluminum sheets, and water. Interesting. So this will be produced in a machine for sure. And the heat exchanger uses heat energy to turn water into steam. So this whole procedure heats up water, and so basically we collect sunlight and heat up water with that, and we will create electricity via that. Alright, so let me fast forward until we have researched the thermal power. There we go. So the solar power is now researched. I've put up a few more wind turbines in between the few minutes I've had, and we will now research a first car, but I don't think that's really important. The really important thing is the tier 2 motor here, but that's the thing for the future. So I'm really happy that we got a new method of acquiring energy, because the wind power is very unreliable. The real interesting thing here was, while I was fast forwarding, I had a production of 50 megawatt with that wind park here for a few minutes. And now I don't even manage to satisfy, well, okay, we do satisfy that a bit. But, oh yeah, as we see it here, that's a good example. So the wind power actually provides not that little energy. But at the same time, I want something more reliable. So let's check this out. We will need glass for that, and we will need, most importantly, water. So I already set up that little machine here. I have no clue how much water we will actually need, but let's just assume we want 500 units of water. So we will need what? That's just no, not the way to how to set it up. This mod brings me a lot of headache towards how to achieve those recipes, because if I if I search directly for water, I don't find any direct recipes doing that. So the thing here is, we will most likely desalinate that stuff, and then I think we should be also able to work with that brine. So desalination should be the way to go. All right, so we will use desalination for that. That's the same step I took before, but one thing at a time. So we don't look at the brine, we just look at that. We will process that with seawater, and, well, let's see. We will produce a lot of wastewater and brine. What can we do with brine? Brine can be turned into chlorine, which we will use later. So I'd say that's a good start. Apart from that, we of course need some sort of facility to produce the heat pipes for us. So we need tier 2 pipes and aluminum sheets and water. This is such a nasty recipe, I love it. So let's check this out. The heat exchanger needs heat pipes. Alrighty. So pipe 2, plastic or steel, it doesn't seem to matter at this point. So, okay. I am piping off plastic to some degree into that direction, and we are using plastic at that point. So I'd say I'll be just grabbing some more plastic over here, and we'll just produce those pipes there. Probably, I'm not sure now where I'm going to pipe that, but we will need that for sure. Alright, now let's back to this. We need distilleries and we need hydro plants. Distillery, oops. Let's create 4 of those, 5 of those I mean, and 5 of those. It'll take a while. And also we seem to need larger amounts of glass. Which brings me to the question, am I even able to sustain such a large scale production or not? But then I feel like my wind park is providing quite good for me. And right now I'm carrying, what, 8 more wind turbines with me. So overall, it ain't that bad. What's bad though is that my glass production doesn't really make me happy at that point. So how did we produce that again? We took sand, mixed that with saline water, and created silica out of that. The sand was produced by these. Okay. Alright. So I wonder if that thing seems to... Yeah, just like I thought. Alright. Since my stockpile for the crucibles is already full, I'd say we will create yet another foundry for glass at this point, because we definitely seem to need that. Alrighty, alrighty. Science-wise, my production is very, very slow, mainly because... Wait a sec, yeah. Because the motor production here is suffering a lot from not enough iron plates, but that's okay. Okay, confusion. Confusion everywhere. This mod confuses me. But that's okay. Alright, let's put that on a pin. And since I already got the necessary distilleries up, so we will need saline water, and we will also need seawater. Okay, we also need a seawater pump. I get it. And a foundry. Are they even called seawater pump? No, they're not. Okay. So usually I feel a lot better prepared seawater intake for my episodes than whenever I start recording Nullius. Nullius is really kicking me quite hard. But honestly, I really do like that to some degree, because this does show how complicated modern chemistry actually is. Because these are just basics at that point. There's a lot more to that. So... Is there again a overpressure of oxygen in this system? Output full. Carbon monoxide. Because this whole system is jammed. And there is... We have a overspill of propene? Seriously? Yes, we do. Such a valuable thing! Seriously. A overspill of propene is like, I'll keep that. Let's stockpile that further. So that was the issue, yeah? Okay, great. With this mod, I'm really busy with these issues so much. Like, why are we not able to produce enough ethylene here? Ah, yeah, I remember. I remember why. Okay. So we won't be building much today. But we will be preparing a lot. I've been thinking about this for quite a long time, if I should be hiding that chaos or recording that chaos. But then I realized that I think that chaos is providing so much learning potential that I didn't want to skip it out. I don't know. If you guys don't like episodes going like this, please tell me. But I feel like with this mod, understanding how you produce things is nearly as important as producing them itself. So we might be just tinkering on the hydrochloric acid issue here for now. So here, we will produce carbon dioxide via mineral dust. I have to say goodbye to the idea that I can produce that much graphite per second, period. We will just tune it down to a small scale production for now. So let's say at least 2 units of graphite. Okay, okay. So let's see. We will acquire the necessary carbon dioxide by installing 22 flotation cells. That sounds pretty brutal to me. So let's see. For the hydrochloric acid though, well, it's working out better than before. So let's see. How many plastic productions would I need? 13. Hell no. And if we do that by direct hydrogen chloride production, yeah, that looks a lot more sophisticated. So the chlorine can be acquired by splitting up. Oh, we can do that with saline water as well, but brine is a lot more concentrated. Okay, there we go. And oh, that's cool. So we will acquire the necessary hydrogen for this step by the procedure itself. That's good. So I think that thing is now pretty much wrapped up, but I somehow think I forgot something. I'm pretty sure I forgot something. Anyways, we will just get started with the water production. So my actual energy production should be somewhere in the vicinity of my aluminum production, because we will need aluminum for that. I also am well aware of the fact that my aluminum production is quite lousy and we need to upgrade that, but everything in this game needs to be upgraded. It's insane. I love it. So let's check this out. Not the outfall, I want that pump. Outfalls everywhere, but where's the pumps? Okay. Seawater intakes. Alright. And I guess I'll rather start crafting underground pipes already, because I'm pretty sure we will need tons of those again. Alright. Now, one seawater intake will produce 120 units of water per second. That's all? Yikes. So, is that even enough? No, it's not. Oh my god! I didn't even expect that. So, I will need, like, how many of those? 4. Yeah. We will need 4 seawater intakes. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Alright, let's, The main issue with that kind of thing is that I will end up using tanks for that again to store that seawater. So bottom line, I don't think I will do that here because there's just too much stuff standing in my way here. We will instead go this way. Oh my god. I'm not misreading that? No, it's really pumping speed 120 per second. Jeez. And all of a sudden what I'm doing looks like a huge large-scale project, but believe me, it's not. So let's see, logistics, we will still need those tanks. Where were they? Here, medium tank. A medium tank would be a huge upgrade, and we would only happen to need steel rods and steel sheets for that. I might be considering that somewhere later down the road, but not for today. So for today, oh man, there's also, yeah, we can't even put these fluids through the same pipes because the pipes would just not handle that capacity. Okay, way more complicated than I thought, but that's basically the Nullius in a nutshell. Way more complicated than I thought. Alright, let's try to save something here, or salvage something. That means every single of these units has to be connected to its own tank. Or, well, it doesn't have to, but... I think it would be wise to do so. And then we'll need pumps, I think. Improves flow rate over long distances and fills tank to I see! To fill a tank to maximum pressure, we need a pump. That makes so much sense. Why does standard Factorio doesn't do that? Because you need to force fluids to fill a container. They don't do that voluntarily. That makes so much sense. It's impressive. Because if you just would let that flow without pressure, there would be exactly happening what's happening here. Okay, so now we got these seawater thingies. Is that even good what I'm doing? I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that. So they are now... No, that makes no sense. Holy moly. So let's check out the actual recipe. That will solve some of my issues. So I think it would be wiser to check out how much do we need per hydro plant. Maybe even, no, I know what I did wrong here. So we will just remove those. I'll just connect the hydro plants directly to the pumps. Just realized a storage system like that is neither effective nor efficient. So instead, I'll just go here and connect every hydro plant with its own pump. I think that will be the most easy way to deal with things. So seawater in and the other stuff out. Yeah, I'm happy with that kind of solution. I feel a lot better with that one. So we'll just provide for every unit separately. Wow, that's nasty. Alright, we're almost 30 minutes in and I haven't done anything of the things I anticipated for this episode, but yeah, well, I don't mind. I mean, we do get started here, slowly. And power production is offline again. The good old ups and downs of wind power. Okay, so that thing is now producing for me saline water and wastewater. Say, can we use wastewater in any useful way? Let's see, usage. Wastewater barrel, hooray. Climate sample box. I think we are really far away from that. So, climatology tier 2. We're not there yet. So wastewater can be transformed into saline water and oh my god, that's so good. What do we need to research that? I do have the necessary technology for that. Bam. So at some point all that wastewater can be turned back into saline water as well. Cool. Later we will also get heavy water out of that. I see. But for today we will still need to vent that out. So, well, it'll all go via outfalls. 100 units per second. So, how many units of wastewater does one of these thingies produce per second? 20. So we will be good with just one outfall. Good. And, well. Now. Good lord, I didn't anticipate such trouble with such simple steps. But, well. I think I've played Nullius long enough to actually should have anticipated it. Okay, now with that, since that's less than 120 units per second, I think we should be able to pipe that off this way. Transfers fluids at 40% pressure. So, my god, that's so horrible. So I'd actually have to use, or I should be using these because they can transport a lot more. Oof. Well, the thing is here, well, yeah, I got an idea. We won't be using these. So, what's happening on my mind? A pipe that can only transport fluids at 40% pressure can also only use 40% of those 120 units per second. That means if I try to lead this via these pipes into the outfall, there will be a constant overproduction of wastewater here, because that pipe won't be able to lead these amounts of wastewater into the outfall. So if I understood these things correctly, we will have to set up a pump. I think they work like that. And then we need the next pump into that direction. And then we'll directly transport that into the outfall. Let's see if that works. I'm not sure if I'll need more than these pumps or not, but we'll find out. All right, now split in here. Cannot be built in shallow water. Okay, and then we're going to drop it down there. So my real question now is how much fluid will be transported here. So, alright, that only works with tanks to fill them up into maximum pressure. Okay. So we will use this instead. Got it. No, let's use underground pipes. That's less costly. So please correct me if I understood parts of the pressure system wrong here, because I sure might have done. But that also means we have to transport somehow how many units of water per second. So we will have to transport 70 units of water per second through these pipes, which is way more than these can transport. So these transport is 60% pressure, so that'll mean 72 per second if I don't use a pump. That's a lot better. I mean, 70, yeah. So we'll have to use the plastic pipes and then everything will be good-o. Alright, so I'm going to prepare myself for this crazy endeavor between this and the next episode. And next episode, I think I will be either producing graphite or producing these new power systems. Haven't fully decided yet what will happen first. So thanks for sticking around. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. This is a lot of confusion involved, but I think if you are struggling with your own stuff at home, maybe it helped you a bit. Leave me a comment down below, leave me a like or a subscribe, I'd be deeply appreciating that. See you guys soon, bye bye.